So what's up, people? Back again. This time, a different episode. I'm in the corner, and you know what exactly it is. It means today we're having some ideas here. So, welcome to this episode of the Ideas Corner with you know who it is. So today, I've been having those ideas, not this idea, right? So this idea comes from how I've been seeing things which are going on. I'm always looking for something different that's going on, something that everyone is doing, and I try to see how I could maybe use it this way or that way for the benefit of me, right? Or for the benefit of whatever it is I'm doing. So for this one, right, the thing was I saw that grocery is something that's really popular here. Like groceries are really something that's popular. Like they are now supermarkets are actually, if you go to, I don't know which video it is, I talk about how supermarkets are really in trouble because they are betting on their brand, and that's a good thing, right? Because they have brand on which they actually trust and believe in for themselves, right? But what I wanted to do was I looked at it and said, most of these other smaller supermarkets without that brand are gonna lose big time even in the coming years. I sort of see something happening in that space of how supermarkets have losing rather of supermarkets losing rather their sort of clout in how they've been the best thing to happen to humankind over the past, I don't know, 100 years or something. So what I actually saw was that grocery is now being people are opening smaller supermarkets where groceries, not, they're actually not supermarkets, I don't know what to call them, a departmental grocery store, since departmental shops and all that, but I think it's a departmental grocery shop of how they sort of, someone sitting here and sitting there, they all have groceries, they're selling groceries. So I think there's something happening there with grocery. I think grocery is sort of a trend, yeah. And what I saw from there was that each and every sort of person has different prices, right? So you need to actually go around and check which of these smaller grocery stores or whatever have sort of the best prices at that moment. So I looked around and saw that those prices, you might find maybe a bottle of mayonnaise in different prices from all that. Happens still with the same thing with supermarkets and all that. But what I saw from that was that I thought of being a shopper for people. And I think people at first, that idea was like would someone like to have someone shopping for them and they're not seeing the prices. And then I looked around and saw that we are actually doing this. People actually shopping for each other without noticing it. And it's been happening over a long period of time, and I thought we're actually doing this. And then I looked around, searched something on Google, and found out that there are actually people who actually do people shopping for a living. And I thought, okay, if someone can do it, then I can sort of come to this new you come to this new idea, or this new way of how I could do it. So what I'd wanted, if someone is listening and for all my ideas, I encourage you to take immediate action on it, research on it, find a way to get that first person to work with you or whatever. It might take time to find that first person, but keep on building something towards this idea. Somehow you might find something bigger, better right there. So what I wanted, if I want you to go around, right? If you could go around the city, it's not really city specific. I think in every way we are like we have groceries and whatever. I want you to go around each and every city and find maybe basic commodities of which people buy. Maybe you can learn from the type of grocery shopping you usually do, or mom or dad usually do, and learn from that and take that as a blueprint to the price, to the commodities you actually need to go look at. And then you find the best places which have sort of the lowest prices, and then find those prices and look around, like go look everywhere. I encourage you to go look everywhere for this. Find those places which have those commodities with them, and then when you found those places, I want you to write all of them down. Find the lowest prices possible for each and every commodity. Before you go on to other things, find the lowest price possible. That's what I want you to do. When you found those low prices, right, I want you to, I don't know how you can somehow convince, you now need to have some sales tactics for you to actually get someone to hop on board with you. And then if you manage to actually get your first client, right? Your first client, you tell them that I have this and this and this and this. I could get it for you at those prices, sorry, I could get it for you at these prices, right? And maybe for my shopping and my services, for me to come to deliver it all to you, you might want to really start with maybe some like some small items, so that since you won't have a startup car or bike to actually ferry around and all that, you need to have like sort of this you need to be able to carry them on your own. You need to be able to carry them on your own, like, yeah. So I'd love, like, if you found that, and then you get your first client, and then if you find that person, ask if you could shop for them, and then what they can pay you is maybe, I don't know, you could say 10% of the whole price they're paying, or I don't know how you could actually come to find a way which is actually gives you some form of profit after that. So some form of profit after you do all that for them. And it shouldn't be like you shouldn't like start with a lot of profit. We all want profit when we're starting something, but I think the best way for you to actually gain something from anything you're starting is not to focus too much on the profit part, because that's what kills a lot of people. You end up overcharging to a point where someone is like, this isn't, they don't see the value of it. So I would like you to start at that place where you can actually push in that one client and then shop for them, and then you ask, if maybe you say, from this whole price you are gonna pay, I will take something like maybe 10% or 5% of the total price you have paid as sort of my payment for doing this for you. We do this every day, right? People don't notice it, and you should make sure that your prices are the lowest, because if your prices of your items begin going higher, people might think, oh, it's better for me to actually go to my usual, what you call it, supermarket, and actually buy this on my own. So I will, like, you in the end, like, the bigger picture of this is that you have a sustained ecosystem of maybe a group or WhatsApp group of where you shop for people as a company, or you call it shoppers. I don't know, you sort of maybe call it the shopping guys, something like that, the shopping guy or the shopping guys, depending on how many people you actually start this with. And then you build from that. Imagine a place where you have a group filled with 250 people. You are shopping for them at those low prices, and they're giving you all 10% of their total price. And if you calculate it strategically for all that, I'm pretty sure like there's a decent amount of potential people are living in this sort of space of middlemaning something. And I think that middle could be a real big business if you're looking for something that you can actually do without a lot of startup capital. And I think for most of my things, you've seen that they require just little to nothing to sort of start into and enter that background. It all requires you and your skills, you to actually, convince people and all that to actually do something with whatever they need to do. So I'd love for people to actually, see this and then go look for those prices, because I can see a point where Pick and Pay has lost its customer base because of the fastness. You can realize, like, I think if you take notice of things which are going on right now, you can see that there's a lot of these big brands are actually now looking into having a delivery service, just because of that they're seeing that now COVID actually brought in that sort of new area of where people realized that they can do most of what they can do at home. So that's why I'm seeing it happen, that there are a lot of these retail shops and businesses which are now having a delivery service. And I can see that everyone is noticing the shift that's happening. And if you can take this, I can see a sort of 3 to 5 year window of most brands not noticing it, or maybe it's a 2 year window, 2 to 5 year window of most brands not noticing this, and do this with little to no competition as of now, but building it to the point where when those big brands start realizing that no, this isn't working, we need a delivery service, you're already there. So that maybe you can be the shopper for them and whatever. So I would love for people to actually look at that sort of middlemaning the groceries of people and finding the lowest prices possible. You need to find a price that is lower than maybe your I don't know, your Pick and Pay, your OK or whatever. You need to find a price that's lower than that, that's really low for a lot of these assorted items, for you to actually for people to actually see the value of what you are trying to do. There's such an economic shift that's happening right now, and a lot of people are not noticing what's going on. And I would love for people to actually see these economic shifts happening and take some sort of action towards what's happening, because I can see that in most areas of how things used to happen, there's a lot that's changing. And I would love for people to actually look at how it can be beneficial to them. Who knew that in the last 5, not even the last 5 years, in the last 3 years, who knew there'll be anything called an NFT? A JPEG, right, would actually sell for more than $1 million. Like, who knew that would happen? So there are a lot of emerging industries right now. I'd love for people to take sort of keen interest that's happening in them, and sort of find a blueprint around that, because I think things are changing and you need to change with them, not demonize the change, adapt to the change, because change is inevitable. I would like for people to know that change is inevitable. We won't stop changing, we won't stop evolving. Adapt to what is going on and stop demonizing the future. This is this week's video, and thank you for tuning in. Have a great week.